I would like to invite you to watch several of my videos. I have a YouTube channel, uh, Freedom, Love, and Joy. And this is a series of videos about how we can change education. Okay, so I am Dr. Glenn Shepard, and I've been in education for over 50 years, working with parents, teachers, and everything else. And these videos are here to help people understand how we can change education. And this one in particular is for parents, particularly addressing parents to help make change. Okay, it's very important to get parents involved. Teachers, educators can try to do different things, and they run across roadblocks all the time. You know, the administration, the way the system's set up. And if we can't get parent approval, then, you know, we can't make much of a change. Okay, so parents can help. And this is a video that I would like to really get parents involved. Okay, so you understand what you can do and how you can do it. Okay, I've written a couple books. Transformation of Human Consciousness by Design is a book about how we change the educational system to be one in which it helps improve our evolution to a higher level. You know, that our human consciousness develops as it should. And the other book, Freedom, Love, and Joy Movement, is a book about how important freedom, love, and joy are. And, you know, you'll hear a lot more about that, because that's the essence to me of the purpose of our life and for our children. Okay, and that should be our purpose for our schools, for people to learn to develop freedom and their love and joy in life. Okay, but the main part here too is about how schools can be changed to fit the needs of the children. Okay, the problems in the schools are tremendous. And I have several videos, and I invite you to watch more videos about this topic, you know, if this is the first one you've seen as a parent. But if you will see some of the other videos, I have one, History of Education, which, you know, that will really explain a lot of things that, you know, schools have been made into factories to turn out employees who go to, you know, when the bell rings, they follow orders, and that sort of mentality was how schools were developed. They're very prison-like. Schools are. They're set up to look like prisons, actually, and the whole and the competition is just tremendous. And there's no need. We're talking about young children. If adults want to compete and whatever, it's fine. I don't care. But children who are just trying to learn to read and learn basic skills in their life, and, you know, no, they don't need that competition right then. You see, they don't need it. They need cooperation. They need to work with people. They need to be successful, right? The testing is nothing but, to them, is nothing but stress. You know, you got to make the grade. You got to, you know, do what you're told when you're told. You cannot speak until you're spoken to. This is like all day long. You know, from, you know, the minute you walk in to the time you leave, you're controlled, and all the instruction is teacher directed. You know, the children have no say so what's going on. Parents, you know, you don't have to say so what's happening. They just have these routines, and they run your kids through, but it's doing nothing but putting stress on them. You see, that's the problem. That schools are created really for adult learners, adult male white learners, to tell you the truth. So they're kind of created in that sort of vein, and it's not for children. Okay, it never has been. It never should have been. And you can do something about it. And so, what should they be? Well, they should be fun, exciting, interesting places to go. Children should be motivated to learn anything and everything, right? They should be able to ask questions and get answers, and they should be very interested. The kids should be, right? You wouldn't like your kids to come home, I'm so excited. I did this project and we're doing this. And wouldn't that be, isn't that what they should be, without the stress and, oh my gosh, a failure. See, no one should fail. Why should anyone fail? Everyone should succeed, right? They should learn, grow, develop all kinds of skills and attitudes. And so, also watch a couple of other videos. I have Creating a Constructivist Educational Community, Creating the Idea School, Design a New Society, and some more. Okay, so I invite you to watch some of these about what a school could be and how they could be created. I'm not just saying maybe we could do this. I'm saying we can. Okay, we have done it, and we could. So what should you do to demand change? Okay, one thing, like I say, is watch some more of my videos, and you can see I have one called Elimination of Grades and another Elimination of Standardized Tests. We don't need those. Children do not need those. Children can be tested to see, what skill level they're at, and I taught math as well, and see what skill level they're at, and they learn at their own pace. You see, they master their skills, and they move to the next level. It should be self-paced instruction, and so we don't need so the testing is a help with that, but we don't need the standardized. That just compares. Okay, we don't need to compare one child with another. That creates the stress. You see what I'm saying? It creates stress. The grades, the grade levels, they even create stress. Why even have that? We can have individualized instruction, self-paced, student-centered rather than teacher-centered, okay, or subject-centered. We don't necessarily be the subject-centered approach. There are other ways to have student-centered learning, and it should be cooperative learning, not competitive. They should be working on projects together. Should be problem-based, real world problem solving. Okay, and so it's exciting for students, and students set their own goals. You see, your parents, you work with your teacher and the student, and they set goals. And not just the state or the government setting goals for you and your child. And you set your own goals, and the child learns to do self-assessment and reflection. Okay, that's part of learning. That's part of becoming an adult. That's part of becoming free. Okay, that's becoming self realized. Okay, is to become able to set your own goals, to assess yourself. And of course, they have help. Of course, the teachers will help. They do all this. But the goal is to help the child become in charge. And you, as a parent, be in charge of the school, of the type of classes or courses and things they learn. Okay? And so they're happy. And they're all successful. And there's not competition and all this other stuff. And so they should demand these things. Okay, so the needs of children are vast. Okay, they have a lot of intellectual needs, but even the intellectual needs is a lot more than just reading and writing, math, test scores. Okay, that's a low level knowledge. Number one, they need that for sure, but they also need higher level thinking and creativity, imagination, being able to do analysis and do evaluations themselves. You see, and critical thinking, problem solving, decision making. These are skills that adults, and as a parent, you would want your child to be able to develop those abilities. But they need opportunities. So see, right now they're stuck in this, let's just do reading and math scores, and let's not worry about all these other intellectual things. But then all the social needs of children, emotional, moral development and growth, physical growth, psychological. Those are all needs that children have got to have help with. Okay, to grow. They grow emotionally, and they have moral reasoning. And all these other things, and they need to learn freedom, love, and joy. Okay, freedom means also self-responsibility and self-actualization. Okay, being able to not only do things for yourself, but become an adult who can take care of things and make decisions and be competent and members of society and feel good about themselves. So that's very important to learn freedom as a child. You have to be given freedom, and that's the whole idea of a constructive approach, to let children make decisions under supervision, you see, with teachers and parents, and give them more choices and give them responsibilities so where they can do this and they can make their own decisions, set their own goals. And then they also begin to work with others, with cooperation with others. In that process, they begin to understand others. And in understanding of others, you develop empathy, right? And that's what you want your child to do. This is not like a religious class I'm talking about at all. This is the fact of reality that children need to develop freedom, and they need to develop love, okay, to get along with people. Isn't that what you want? And that takes understanding and cooperation. So you need to put them in a learning environment in which they can work with others and understand themselves and understand the world themselves, for themselves. You see? And then that's where they develop empathy and love. You don't have to have a class in empathy and love, or a class in freedom. And then the other would be joy, is that you want your children to be happy, right? Every parent, I would think, you want your child to grow up to want to be happy as a child and happy when they grow up as an adult. So they feel positive, about themselves. They have a positive attitude, a good self-esteem. Okay, that's what we're talking about. Is now you have freedom and able to do these things and abilities, and you gain love and empathy and all these good positive vibes. But how about yourself? How do you feel about yourself in your own life? You feel happy about it. You feel satisfied, and that's where joy is so important. It's part of this process. So you put them in a learning environment, not a jail or prison, okay? But put them in a learning environment where they can express themselves and they can learn to be happy, okay? That's what it's all about. And I have another video called Creating a New Educational System. That's a series, and if you want to watch those, of how we can create a new educational system. It can be changed, okay? So what can parents do? Okay, then you go to the PTA, join, participate, educate yourself. Watch my videos, read my books, my articles. I have a website that has a lot of that stuff on it. You get it free. And learn about what student-centered learning is, and demand that we have student-centered learning, not subject-mattered or teacher-centered. Okay, you can demand. We want student-centered learning, and we want self-paced mastery learning, so that no students should be left behind. This whole idea, what are we leaving people behind? If we had a self-paced mastery learning, was student-centered, and we had individualized educational program for every child, not just for special ed students, every child should have their own. You can demand that the children and you as a parent make decisions on what the curriculum and the instruction is for your child. Okay? That's a constructive approach, that you, the parent, and the child are making decisions, working with the school, on what to do and how to do it, okay? And join the Freedom, Love, and Joy movement that I'm trying to start, I've been trying to start, to change schools. Tell your other parents, and get them with you, say, come on, let's join this thing, and let's change the schools. Let's make a school in which children can learn to be responsible, happy adults, and we can change our society, okay? So there's several videos, Evolution of Human Consciousness, Constructivism, Evolution of Consciousness. I have another one, Freedom and Evolution, Love and Evolution, and Joy and Evolution. See, all these things have to do with our evolutionary process, which is very important. So if you would, you can follow me at Freedom, Love, and Joy, my YouTube channel, and then I have a freedomloveandjoy.com website. Okay, that has some materials as well there for free, and then my books are on Amazon.com. So I hope you get out there and do your best to change your school. All right, thank you for joining me.